Hello and welcome to Ask Amy and Rosie. I'm Amy.
And I'm Rosie.
And we're going to answer some of your questions today. Shall we dive in? Why do we always find intros funny?
Because it's funny. Because we're just talking normally and then we have to go, hello everybody! But they're not there, but they will be soon.
But they will be soon. Alright, shall we answer a first question?
Yes.
Okay, this one comes from Olive. Thank you, Olive. It says, I am in a deep boring. My life and work take me so much time that my training journey becomes shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I spent lots of time learning handpan. She studied with handpan roots, etc., etc. But now that life has taken over, she's finding it hard to pursue the journey. She says, I know Amy is a specialist in establishing training plans. Yeah, I'm a long-time gym goer. I'm good at training plans. Could you give us a fun summer plan to progress in our playing?
Ooh.
That's a hard one because it depends on where you're at. It is something that I do. I do make monthly plans. And this month I'm suggesting to everyone that they improvise.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But I think my kind of general structure, actually, I learned a really good one from David Kuckerman.
Oh yeah.
Which is, that I've kind of tweaked a little bit, which is practice of a specific thing, drill, exercise, for however long you've got. And then the exact same chunk of time again, practicing integrating that thing in some way. And then the same chunk of time again, practicing, which is perfect for my month, practicing improvisation or composition using that thing. So for instance, if I'm practicing my split hand rolls, something like this, I don't know, I might practice for 10 minutes to a metronome. Thank you to my beautiful metronome. I just practice just that for 10 minutes and then implementing it into some kind of context. Right? For 10 minutes and then putting it in wider context improvisation.
Yeah, I find people sometimes struggle with that third step. Like, the way that I explain it is I do some work in like a really narrow frame. I'm just working on the exercise. Then I'm doing it in a musical context that it might come up, but like a strict one, a preset one. And then I try and forget everything I've done for the past 20 minutes and just play. But because that idea is at the top of my mind, it comes up a lot, and I really kind of lean into that. And I'd add maybe one more step, or maybe it's connected. When you're flowing and you find something that you can't do physically, technically, do it again. Do it again and again and again and again, and work out different like things that you can't do. I guess it's like if your skills are a big scrunchy ball, when you find that little bit, you actually just iron one section until it gets flat and flat and flat. And then you dive back in and you're back into this kind of scrunchy ball. So find the thing that you can't do and really dive in. And I have a longer, nerdier answer to the question of summer training plans. So when I was younger, I was studying at music school. And so all year round, you'd be doing a lot of things, you know, classes, concerts, all the time kind of up against it. And then you'd have your final exam or whatever. And you'd have the month of August and be like, I can relax, I'm not up against it in the same way. And so I really tried to use that time every year as a kind of like skills audit, like a kind of reset. So I'd say, okay, so this year I've been doing one thing a lot, but I haven't made time for like, I don't know, singing, let's say. So I want to get a bit better at that one thing. I haven't had the time because I've been pressured, I've been working a lot for a certain reason. So imagining all the skills on the board, how do I like bring those areas that I haven't had so much time into? So if you're a really groovy player, how is your understanding of harmony? Maybe that's the thing to bring up a little bit. Or if you love writing beautiful, wonderful melodies, maybe you need to practice, you know, really grooving out to a metronome. So finding an area of handpan that you're really good at, amazing. But you actually learn so much more from getting specific about what you don't feel so strong at. and flipping it and really diving in and getting like much better at that. So I think either way, however much time you have, find one specific problem that you'd like to get better at and just work on that. And that might be, sometimes I see a video in a course or I see someone performing something live and I'm just like, how do they do that? And I can dive into that. Or, as I said, when I'm playing, I'm like, oh, I really want to go like, blink, but I can't. How do I do that? Bink. Okay, you know. So find what you're bad at and do more of it.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the main thing that you can really focus on to improve as a player and to find interesting and fun practices.
Totally.
Because I think I want to be a better handpan player.
Yes.
You're not in control of that. You can't do anything about that.
Right.
But I want to improve in this particular thing, or I want to practice this particular thing. You are in control of that, and you can do that. And I think the biggest thing that people miss, especially now that like our platform, the village here, it's so full of everything. It's amazing. We have so many things available to us now. It's hard to choose one direction and to choose one thing to work on. I think that's a really good tip, is to just, okay, for this summer, choose one area.
Or this month, or this...
Just this month,
week.
Yeah.
What are you working on?
I'm working on improv.
Ooh.
I'm working on improvisation.
That's fun.
And for me specifically, I think I'm quite good at improv now, but the area that I'm not so good at is I'm really good at kind of just bashing out chords and grooves and rolling with that. I'm not so good at picking out beautiful melodies and making them just feel like long composed melodies. So I've been working on that a lot.
That's good.
And to a metronome. When I improvise, I'm always the same tempo and it's fast. So
that's really good.
Yeah, so I'm kind of trying to do that to a metronome. What are you working on?
Well, I was really inspired. I went to a festival. We went to Pan Paradise recently, and I saw Dan Mulqueen there, and I was like, what's his brain like? So I opened up his course on Master the Handpan, and I've just been trying to steal some of his grooves. I think part of what's so cool is he's a left-handed player and I'm a right-handed player, and I'm just like but it's like, I basically see a performer that you really like, get inspired, try and climb inside their brain for a little bit, and he's great at grooving and I'm not so good at grooving, so it's such fun.
Cool. Nice. There's our month. That's our plan for this summer. If you want to join one of us in one of those plans, then do. But yeah, I think the main thing is find ways to integrate that into fun, playful practice sessions, and then you won't get bored.
Yeah.
Just general kind of practice. It is boring.
How dare you?
It can be. If that's all you're doing, it can be. It can get quite boring. Thank you, Olive.
Great question.
For your question. All right. Roll.
Ooh, this is a good one. How do you keep focused when playing for an audience? When I pay attention to my audience, my mind starts to wander from what I'm playing. And then how do you keep track of what you're playing in the song? That's such a good question. I mean, you have to remember that there's there's 3 different types of playing music, I'd say. There's playing completely for yourself, where you are lost in the moment, where after 10 or 20 minutes of playing, someone says, what did you play, or how did it go? And you say, I have no idea. And that's amazing. That's so fun when you're jamming with somebody else. You're really just in the moment. That's kind of like goals in some ways, right? It's amazing. Then there's playing with a purpose. So this is kind of like, I've had a lovely jam. Maybe I've taken an amazing idea from that and I'm turning it into a piece of music. This is specific practice where I'm shaping the beginning and the end, and it starts to become something that can go right or wrong, which is really important for composition. You can't play something different every time. It's not a composition at that point, debatably. Right, so there's the kind of the right and the wrong creeps in, and then everything just goes whoa, and your body goes crazy and your adrenaline goes mad, because the second somebody's looking at you, you're really focused on those rights and those wrongs. And I had a teacher that would say, when you practice, you want to be 110% comfortable with it, because as soon as somebody's looking at you, you're going to lose 10% of that accuracy, whether that's speed, whether you play a wrong note or you drop a beat in the rhythm. Some of those things are going to go down. And that's just inevitable. Like, we're like little lizard monkey people. And then as soon as an audience is looking at us, we're like, no, don't perceive me.
Scuttle away.
Yeah, scuttle away. So I think for me, it's just embracing that. Like, whether I'm playing to an audience of 2 people or, you know, I've done tens of thousands of people watching me, it's scary, it's nerve-wracking, but I also do enjoy that adrenaline, and especially after the concert, that makes me feel very excited. So knowing that it's going to happen is really the only way that I can deal with that kind of nervousness myself.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. One of my earliest teachers said, practice at 110 because you will be at 90 at the gig, if not less. You know, things will go wrong, and that's fine. When I first started performing, I practiced and played my songs, and I played a set list through over and over and over again to a timer, because I was an anxious teenager, and that's when I started performing. I was like, oh, they've given me 20 minutes, so it's got to be exactly 20 minutes,
right.
You know, and it usually in a chill gig it's fine. So I would practice the songs, I would even think about and practice what I might say in between. Like, I practiced everything, and then when I got there, things flowed differently, but at least I had that foundation that I knew if I just couldn't think of anything, I've already rehearsed everything that could possibly happen. And now I like to compose my pieces with a little element of freedom in there, because I know I'm not going to play it right. Like, I most of my pieces are improvised. Like, I have chord progressions, but not set melodies, because set melodies freak me out. I'm never going to get them right. And that's the way that I get around it. But I think to keep focus, I think having some kind of pre-performance ritual is really good. You've got a few videos on that on YouTube.
Yeah, I did a little series on like nerves and getting yourself ready.
Yeah, tackling nerves is a really good thing. Just some breathing work, and, you know, again, kind of going through the piece in your head and being properly warmed up, all of that kind of stuff. Then you're fully prepared for those external factors to mess you up.
I've got one more specific tip, similar to what you said about being prepared, maybe about what you're going to say. And this is actually a secret. This sounds so like, I don't know, manipulative or whatever. Sometimes when I'm practicing a piece, especially the first times I'm playing it, I'll build in when I'm going to look up at the audience and when I'm going to look down at the pan, because even those decisions in the moment, even when especially when you're enjoying it, when it's going well, that's the times that I'm like, right? So kind of having that moment that I know I'm going to play this fast run looking down, and then spend a moment to look up and connect and know that I'm going to come back down, it's quite reassuring to me. And then the more comfortable I'll get with it, then the less I need to rely on those things.
Yeah, and one last point as well. I think one of the main things that makes my mind wander when I'm performing is distractions. It's like audience noises or things going wrong with the sound, or, you know, whatever that might be, the light changing or whatever. And so practicing in open spaces as well. Like, for me, I busked a lot as a teenager, and you're so not in control of your environment, and no one's listening to you, and there's so many sounds. But that gave me a really good practice at then being able to, like, we just did a gig this weekend where there were other stages that we were competing with. There was so much noise, but we've had all of that practice leading up to that to deal with it. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Rob, for your question. Alrighty, Phil, if you had to choose 3 handpans for the rest of your life, which one would it be and why? You can include or exclude decurd that you need as a teacher. Thank you, Phil. That's very sweet.
I definitely have decurd.
Decurd. Hey, quick fire. 3 handpans.
I mean, I love my Isabai. Like, that's the one that kind of changed my life and opened out all of the complicated melodies that I could hear in my head. I was like, oh, I can actually start to play these. So, yeah, I'd love that. You want to go on?
I've really fallen in love with my A cleaner. It's a Dorian scale, and it's really deep and rich, but also goes quite high. It's quite versatile. I can play in a bunch of different keys. It's super versatile for me and what I do. That'd be my one.
I'm definitely having decurd as well, because the E major and the decurd, they work together to make a really broad spread, like nice and chromatic. So Maybe I'll just have those two.
Yeah, I think if I would pick Decode and Isabai for my other two as a matching pair.
Oh wait, I need to think of
Probably.
one more. Otherwise, I'm doing myself dirty. What else do I play a lot of? I do mostly just play those two.
Do you play your Lesser Renner a lot?
I do. I play it a bit. I mean, yeah, all of them. I like all of them.
You are Kurd and Sabai.
I'm
your
pretty.
two.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more. I float around a little bit more. I'm really enjoying the Pygmy as well, the C# Pygmy. That's the particular extension that I've got from Elia Handpans is very versatile. Anyway, we could talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But we don't have to choose.
We don't have to choose. We're so lucky.
Although when we travel, we do have to choose.
Yeah.
And so actually, it's not even for me about the specific handpan necessarily, because if I can borrow a note from this instrument or that instrument, then I can kind of build different scales in my head anyway.
Yeah. That's a lot of what we do when we're travelling is we travel with our Sabais because we have a lot of compositions on there, basically, and then borrow notes to try and then or borrow decodes because everybody brings them to everything, and then rearrange our songs for different instruments.
Or transpose songs into different scales.
Yeah.
So
It's tricky, but it's doable.
and fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes fun.
Although sometimes you
stressful.
get 5 minutes before a gig and you're like, why do we do this
You're
to
like, why are all the
ourselves?
notes in different places?
You had this. We were at Pan Paradise recently and we watched Daniele Robaldo, and I remember we left and you said to me, "I need to bring my own pans."
Yeah, that's so true.
Because he was so good and
he
so
knew
accurate.
he knew his instrument.
He knew his instrument.
Yeah,
and we were playing around with instruments that weren't our own. All right, Kim.
I want to Zoom with my friend in Montana so we can play our handpans together. I know Zoom won't let us play in the Union, and I'm aware of a setting for musicians. So what are the basics that you need? Oh, you two are awesome.
Oh, thank you, Kim.
So playing in unison, like playing at the same time as somebody else on Zoom is really hard.
Yeah.
By the time the sounds come from your computer, I don't know, does it go to space?
If you're using satellite internet, yes.
And then anyway, by the time it's gone on a journey and got to the other computer, like the sounds kind of go really out of sync, so it's super difficult to play like in time together. Like I've got around this sometimes by playing like things that don't need to be in strict time, so kind of going for like chordal washes. So we're going to play notes from this chord for a minute, and then we're going to play notes from the next chord for a minute, so it's like kind of in and out of sync, like not strictly in time. But I think the best answer for this would be to record yourself playing and then send it to your friend and have your friend record themselves playing and then maybe send it back to you. And you know that game where you like write consequences, you write something and you fold it over and you fold it down. Something like that I think might be more like musically fulfilling, because then you can kind of, it's almost more real-time responding than what Zoom can be. Yeah.
Alternatively, you could have one of you mute and the other person play, and then the muted person play along with and respond to what's happening. So you can. So one person is playing.
So you were muted, like, right? If we were in different rooms, would it be like you're playing?
Yeah.
And I'm responding, but I'm muted.
And I can't hear you.
But I'm having a lovely time.
I can't hear you, so it doesn't matter that it would be coming back out of time.
Yeah.
But to you, you're just playing along with me on the internet, so that's all perfectly in time for you. And then swap. Yeah. And then if you wanted, I tried to record this on Zoom to then see the jam that we had, but it still had that delay. So you could just kind of get your friend to set up their phone or something, recording the room, the screen and what they're playing, so then afterwards you can see the jam that you didn't know you were part of.
That's so fun. You're just playing alone and then you get a little video back and someone's jamming with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a really nice idea.
Yeah. I think that would be nice. I think that's the only way, really.
But yeah, like you've done it a few times now where people have sent you little snippets of them playing the same piece of music or the same song, and then you have the massive job of putting it all together and cutting it together, and
yeah,
obviously it's a lot of work, but that makes a much more kind of joyful experience than trying to play at the same time.
Yeah.
More joyful for me because I don't have to do the editing.
yeah, it's totally possible if you're not sticking to time frames and you're just being abstract.
Yeah.
But if you want to like properly jam together, I think having that slight separation, recording and moving on. Microphones and webcam wise, you don't need anything fancy. As long as you set the setting on Zoom, so there's a specific setting, it doesn't matter about musicians' audio, all of that kind of stuff. There's a particular setting, it might be under advanced settings where it says background noise suppression or something to that effect. That's usually on auto. You want to make sure that that's on low, it's on off or low, because otherwise it thinks that the sounds from the handpan is like a vacuum cleaner or something in the background.
So rude. And
it
this
cuts
isn't
it
background
out.
noise, this is the main ground noise.
So if you're not hearing your friend playing the handpan, it's not because they've got a bad microphone, it's that setting on Zoom. Otherwise, you should be good.
Yeah, and you know, you can use your phones are so good now.
Yeah.
Like we do a lot of recordings on our phones.
Yeah.
Just, you know, when you want to get something, so I started off recording with my phone just balanced on like a pile of books and like, you know,
often.
because, you know, the point is the content. It's not always, you don't need lights and everything necessarily. You just need to be able to see each other and hear each other. But yeah, I think if you want to go into more depth of recording, I know you've got some videos, and I'm pretty sure there's a course coming out, right, Connor?
Yeah, by the time this video goes
should
live,
be out. If not, ignore us.
Yeah, there is a handpan, a recording course, all things sound and audio engineering and all that kind of
it should
stuff.
be really cool. I need to watch it. For sure.
I would be really curious about it as well. Yeah, Connor Shafran I'm excited about this one. It's gonna be good.
But it's just another of those things where you can just dive in as much or as little as you want to. Like, if Amy and I were to both record ourselves, like, she would go into it much more. Ours would look much better if she does it than if I do it, because there's just a limit to my knowledge and my interest.
It can get, you can spend a lot of time on microphones and money.
Yeah, but it's just another piece of knowledge to start investigating, and you can do a lot with a little bit, and then you can keep going in and getting more and more and more.
Yeah, you don't need to buy everything before you can start doing stuff.
Yes.
You don't need that.
Yeah, you definitely don't. You just need yourself. And good
cool.
question.
Thank you, Kim. Alrighty. Dr. Stephen. Okay, hopefully without going in depth into physics. I recently heard a very knowledgeable person say that 432 Hz is healing for the body, so if this is true, why not play a handpan tuned to 432 Hz? Also, I've heard that 432 and 440 handpan played side by side online, so sound may not be totally accurate, and my ear cannot tell the difference. What happens if you play a 432 with a 440?
Nice.
You've got a really good video on
I just made a video, and this is a really good question, and it's quite hard to hear the difference sometimes. So I made a video explaining, but in brief, a note like A, if you imagine on a piano, when you press that note of a certain A, something is vibrating at 440 hertz. So that's what we call the note A. But in the past, somebody from a different village might have chosen a different number to be vibrating at A, and somebody else a different number. And eventually it was getting very difficult because everybody was like, I'm singing an A, and someone else was like, I'm singing an A, and everyone was like, So everyone kind of decided, okay, let's choose one number to be our A, and we'll make the rest of our scales based off of that. And that number was decided broadly, fast, like in around Europe and stuff, to be 440 hertz. But this lower frequency, this slightly slower frequency, is another way of tuning your instruments. So yeah, some people feel that it has healing frequencies, and that's totally up to you to explore those things. Different things make different parts of our bodies like vibrate in all different ways. As you can probably tell from grabbing a handpan on your lap, like you just feel the feelings all through you. So in terms of what you prefer, I think that's just personal preference. But to answer the question of them playing together, like, it just sounds to me, I wonder if we can do this. If Amy and I try and sing the exact same note, so like, I don't know, la. If we're trying to sing the exact same note, but I'm just a little bit under, like, la. la. It just to me it just feels like one of us isn't quite sat, and it's not all the way down to like la la, like a whole step down. It's kind of in between the steps. To my ears, I don't like. If I'm teaching a class and 7 people have a handpan at 440 and one person has one at 432, like I can definitely hear that, and it just sounds to me a little bit off. Just like someone's a bit wrong. But that's just like, and I think many people can hear that, but yeah, not everybody kind of zones into that sound.
I think most people, even if you're not sure what you're hearing though, I think most people can hear it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know, oh, that one's 440 and that's 432, right. You'll hear that something's a little bit wrong. And, you know, this is why, you know, when you go to a rock gig, the guitarists are always retuning their guitars. Because in the heat, their strings, the tension changes and it doesn't go completely out of tune, but the pitch just goes up or down by a few cents, which is what that is, the difference between 440 and 432. And it's just enough to make you feel a bit uncomfortable without knowing why.
Yeah.
So I think it is important that when you're choosing your instrument, the answer that I always have for this is if you are really interested in sound healing and you know that you're going to be taking that direction and playing with other instruments that are of that world, like singing bowls and shruti boxes and people who do deliberately tune their instruments slightly down so that it's in 432. If you know you're going down that route, perfect, amazing. But if you know that you will want to jam with other people at some point, or you want to record and add other instruments or whatever that might be, then I really recommend sticking with 440 because it's so hard to play with anyone else in the Western world.
Right, like you can't change a piano to fit into that world, or you can't retune a handpan to fit into that, and even something like a flute or a guitar, like it's harder to kind of slot into that world.
Yeah. And for me, handpan is such a healing instrument already. Like it just, I'm sure most of you watching as well are here because the handpan has changed your life somehow and you've become completely absorbed and you feel great when you play it. And that's healing enough for me that I'm not willing to sacrifice playing with other people for that extra bit of healing, you know? I already feel amazing. I'm already in love with it. So yeah, that's what I would answer for that.
I would answer to, yeah.
Yeah.
All of my instruments personally are in 440. That's the way that I lean, but it's just about what you're going to want to do with it. Like
exactly. Yeah. Cool.
Great. Oh, actually, this next question ties in. Phil said, what's your top 3 musical instruments that sound really nice playing alongside the handpan?
Ooh.
So, perfect question to have next.
Okay.
I used to do loads of collaborations with different instruments.
You
I don't do
did?
so many. I should.
What were your favourites?
Double bass. It was so good because it's like so low and like dunk dunk dunk. Yeah, so I've had 2 different people bring a double bass like up the stairs into my house. Like that's dedication. I think that worked really well. I enjoy flutes and woodwinds like Archer and Tripp.
Yeah.
Like all of the things that they do are just magical and amazing.
Yeah,
I think. And then I really enjoy playing with pianists actually because the handpan can be melody and harmony and the piano can be melody and harmony. So then neither person has to take any job, like you can both kind of share out those jobs. And yeah, pianists generally just have such amazing brains for music theory and harmony that I'm just like, I just play one note and they're like, doo, 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 doo,
reharmonizing.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I sound great. So yeah, I guess that's probably 3 that I've really, really enjoyed, but anything is amazing.
I really like piano, but I've struggled with the volume difference for just general jamming. I think the pianos are quite a lot louder than handpan.
That's true.
And especially if you're the one on the piano, it's hard to hear the handpan.
Yeah, that's true.
What would woodwind also. I love flutes with the handpan. Harp.
Yes, I've done a little bit with harp.
Harp is so nice. So nice.
Magical.
Because it almost sounds the same.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
No, it does though.
But because you've got all that resonance of the strings anyway, yeah. I like that. And just kind of anything hand percussion-y. I feel like these are quite obvious answers. Like we see flutes everywhere already with the handpan and we see hand percussion already with but because it works.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I do really enjoy though guitar Like a lot of stuff that I've recorded, a lot of my songs are originally written with the guitar, so I've then combined the guitar and handpan. It can be a little bit challenging sometimes rhythmically because I play quite differently, but that's always fun. Yeah, I'll stop there.
Handpan.
Handpan and handpan.
I should say, my favourite is saxophone, so specifically my band partner. I have a whole ensemble, and he plays the saxophone. He is my favourite. I'm sorry, Joe.
Handpan and sax. Done. Woodwind.
Woodwind. I said woodwind.
You did say woodwind.
I said woodwind.
Yeah. Is there anything else that's like...
Anything, though. I think, and that's the best thing. If you know someone that plays another instrument, even if they don't feel very comfortable and you don't feel very comfortable, just try and play together, because like everything sounds good with handpan. So like, yeah, just do it. This is your go jam.
Cool. Yeah, thanks, Phil. Two tricky questions today. Choose your favourite things.
I know.
You can't do. All right, one more question then from Kathy. Hi and thank you. Thank you. I learned something new with each one of you. Oh, thank you. I'm just reading out
reading compliments.
Okay. In the 8 iconic songs for the D curve from David Kay. I haven't checked this out yet.
Yeah, me neither.
All of the 8 songs use the songs use the high C, the highest note on the handpan. David uses a 9+1 chord. I only have an 8+1 chord. So I don't have the high C. I've tried using the harmonic on the lower C, great. And I've also used another one of my handpans that does have the C5, great, but don't like the way it sounds. How would you change the arrangement for all of us that do not have this high C? I would do the 2 things that you've already tried. I would use the harmonic on the lower C, making sure to get the octave harmonic rather than the 5th. So the note that you're unable to access is this one, right? That's how high your handpan goes. This is the one that's missing. So to access this, it is a completely different texture. But make sure that you're not choosing this note because it's not the same note. That's the one you want. So that's one way. But you're right, it's not quite... This is something you struggle with a lot, isn't it? You're always trying to access more notes. And the harmonics are a little bit trickier. If this is something you're unfamiliar with, I recommend checking out the Archer and Trip course here on the Academy, because Sam in that course covers accessing harmonics to extend your instrument.
Nice.
It's really good.
I need to watch that.
It's a really good lesson. I highly recommend. Or borrowing an instrument.
Yeah, borrowing a note.
It's great. It's great that you've already found those solutions. Or just repeating.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like from an arrangement point of view, as soon as you're trying to play a song that other people know, it's both an advantage and a disadvantage. It's a disadvantage because in their heads they know exactly what should happen. But it is an advantage because if we play something similar, people's brains can kind of fill it in. I mean, I guess... if this is how we're expecting the tune to go, I can play the same note twice, right? But the other option, which is a totally great choice, just play the note that you have. But sometimes a more musical option is actually to play the note a little bit lower. So if we're playing this chord, like this note fits lovelily in this chord.
Lovely.
This note doesn't actually quite fit, right? It kind of clashes a bit more. So if you're kind of trying to choose the next best option, it actually might be not to play the note beside, but the note underneath. So remembering this is the melody that we know. Instead, if I come downwards, because we don't have this note, like that can provide the kind of help with what people have in their heads a bit more, and it kind of helps with the chords as well. That fits really nicely, remembering our original, and that using the same note twice gives... which can be a little more clash. And unfortunately, there's not one answer fits all. So I think just use it as a chance to get super creative and inventive. Try out those different options. Try the harmonic, try borrowing a note, and try the same note twice. But I'd offer you the option of the same note, like skipping one note out and coming downwards.
So you're suggesting that on whichever song the person is learning, whatever chord that they're currently on,
choose another note from the chord.
Within that chord.
Yeah, exactly.
That is still going to sit nicely.
Yeah, and you don't have to get technical about it, like if you don't like know all of your harmony, but just listen. Does this feel like it's in the same world, or does this one feel like, you know, you hear how there's nothing sort of bashing against each other to my ears. This sounds nicer than that one. It's just a little bit more crunchy. So yeah, sometimes going down is another way to go up, as they say.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of this episode. Sometimes going down is another way to go up. That's deep, man.
Thank you.
It's so deep.
So deep.
It's poetic.
Yeah, I try. I mean, we always have so much fun answering your questions, and it's great to know what you're all thinking and wondering and worrying. So please keep asking your worries if they're handpan related only.
Yeah, it's Ask Amy and Rosie, isn't it? We're basically agony aunts.
Oh my gosh. Agony aunts.
Amazing.
Well, have a wonderful month.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.